Come on to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. Come on to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. Give praises to Jehovah, from whom all blessings, blessing and knowledge will flow. Blessing and knowledge will flow. The Village Talk Show, dedicated to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life, helping each one of us in realizing our dream at any age, any point, starting from today, success. Come on to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. Come on to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. Success is not spoken, it is done. Success is done. Come on now. The Village Talk Show. Talk Show. The Village Talk Show.
Wonderful good evening to each and every one of you. As you can see, I am in the studio by myself right now, except for Andre, who's going to come on. Andre's going to actually be on screen because he's going to have to be my co-host today, while John and Dr. Brian and Dr. Sampson join us on the screen, right? And join us on the screen so we know what's going on. I can actually hear myself. I can't hear.
No, okay.
All right. So, just to follow up real fast, first of all, thank you so much for joining us right here on The Village. Hoping that you are sharing what is happening, what's going on on The Village with everyone. Very, very excited. I'm looking forward to working with you today. We're on the Village Radio Talk Show. We're dedicated to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life through education, helping each one of us in realizing our dreams at any age, at any point, starting from today. Today, just real fast, our scripture reading is going to be taken from, for those of you who join me for the first time or listening in, I like to ease my mind and think about humility and where God has brought me from and where I am, right? And so I just want to make sure that I give him the praise every time I start a new show, to make sure that you out there in radio, social media, YouTube, land is able to join and, be thankful for whoever you pray to, whoever you believe in. You take a moment and reflect on what it is that you do. So 1 Thessalonians 4:14 through 18 states as follows. For if we believe that Jesus died and rose again, even so them also which sleep in Jesus will God bring with him. For this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that which we are alive and remain unto the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first. And then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. So shall we ever be with the Lord. Wherefore, comfort one another with these words. So again, for all the believers out there, if you die in Christ, you'll still be caught up to meet him in the end. And so, it brings me to a very important question, Andre, right? And, sometimes you hear about the 144,000 concept, and you heard about all of these different things. And sometimes I smile because the Bible doesn't say a number. The Bible doesn't say a number here in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. It basically says, those who are dead in Christ and those who are alive in Christ shall be caught up to meet him in the end. Did you see a number in that?
I mean, I just keep remembering that 144 from the years ago when I looked at it.
There's a certain religion which speaks of the 144.
Yeah.
So I'm not questioning anybody's religion. I'm sure the number comes from the understanding, not the number, but the understanding of the number comes from somewhere. Just like my understanding of there is no number.
Mm.
But sometimes when I think about 144,000, I'm thinking about Christianity has been around about since year 33, about that, after the death of Christ. And I'm just wondering if within all those years, there have been billions of people who have followed the path of Christ in some way, shape, or form. And so what happens to all those people? And there are more than 10 billion people on the earth with about a little bit over a billion who follow Christianity, the laws of Christianity, right? So about a billion people currently who follow it.
So when you say what happened, are you asking about what happened to them when they passed?
I'm just wondering if there's only if there can only be 144,000 who's going to go to heaven, and there's more than a billion people who believe in Christianity and follow the path of Christianity. Now they follow it different ways because we have discussed before where Christianity is the only religion with that many different versions of the same religion.
Yeah, I feel like that one. I would presume
over 46,000 different versions of Christianity.
I would presume that 144 there is some nuances to it because so many years, centuries have passed by where interpretations may have been changed in a sense with those who write the Bible. Because language, how language itself develops. So you have so many different versions of the Bible. Sometimes I'll be like, why? Why you need so many different versions? But people interpret differently. Latin, Greek, the way how English origins come from out of German, Dutch. So English is so influenced in so many different ways. About Old English, Middle English, New English.
Well, the answer to that question is very simple, right? Christianity started in Israel, right? In Israel, because that's where Jesus Christ came from and his journey. Then it spread from Israel over into other nations. At times, Italy, the Roman Church, Roman Catholic, Pontius Pilate, is where the beginning pieces of the Bible came from. So what happens is that you start off with the major languages first, right? So what's the dominant language during the early 20th century? The early first and second century, right? You start with those languages, right? And then you move to in the 12th, 13th, and 14th century, right? England and Spain, right? England and Spain also started dominating the world, right? In the Middle East, after Muhammad, 711, right, where Islam was the dominant religion at that point. So in the Middle East, Africa, Islam was the governing religion, right? So Christianity fell into the other realms of the world. China was not going to be touched because Chinese believe in Buddhism, right? In Buddhism. India believed in Hinduism, right? And Hindi. So the Christianity and exploration, right? Exploration, moving around the globe became the more dominant. That's why you have a lot of South America, Central America, Caribbean are Christians. They're not Muslims. They're Christian because that's the dominating force that went into these countries. So when an explorer came, he brought in Christianity, Catholicism with him, right? When you look at Africa, when you move when you move west, it's Arabic. Europe was Christianity, and Europeans are responsible for the majority of the exploration and the I don't want to use a negative word, but I'm just thinking of a negative word. They're pilfering because they went in and they stole things out. Right? That's exactly what happened, but I don't want to use that word. I did say it, but that's not the word I want to use.
Colonialism.
Right, the colonialism and the imperialism that happened in those countries. And so when they went in, the priest or the Pope, right? They were right next to is the Pope and then the ruler. They were together, right? So sometimes the Pope actually had more power than the king or queen. So whenever they explored, there was somebody who was there who was going to spread the gospel. So,
speaking of, I don't know if this might be, well, you speak of the Pope and them, and I'm just looking at even now how the Pope and the controversies that continue to surround the Pope are like, even the instance with the Dalai Lama. I don't know if you saw that one where the Dalai Lama told the kid, stick out your tongue. You ever see that at all?
no,
Well, there was a big conference thing wherein he told the boys to kiss him, right? Told the boys to stick out his tongue and all, and it makes you look at these things and just wonder about these supposed leaders being at the top and influencing us in a sense. I just thought that was fascinating, problematic, but yeah, so.
it's very, very interesting. So again, everyone, welcome to the Village Radio Talk Show. We're really excited to be here with you. There are a lot of things happening this weekend, and so for everyone to participate in. So Saturday is going to be a very busy Saturday for everyone, because for one, you guys are going to come out and support Dr. Bryant, Stillwater Community Center. You have that on Saturday all day. No, from 12 to 3, right? The Stillwater community forum, right? That's going to happen out there in Queens, right? It's going to be happening out there in Queens on Saturday from
12 to 3.
12 to 3. You can, I don't know how to use the QR code from just looking at it because, I was asking that, like, if anybody, like, just how do you download it from your phone? But if you want to just click on the screen when you do a review of the show, you can see it. It's at what is that?
11444 Merrick Boulevard, Queens, New York. That's 11434. Morning Star Missionary Baptist Church.
All right, so come out and join them. Ask a lot of questions about your children. Make sure that you have the tools necessary to support your child moving forward. Especially, they didn't ask to be here. You brought them here. You're responsible for them until they're 20 something. Not 18 like some of them think, because some of them think once they turn 18, they're grown. When they get to 18, they realize, I'm not grown. So yeah, you're responsible. What is it? You have to provide medical, Andre, until they're 26. All right. So if you have any questions, do reach out to Stillwater. You can reach out to everyone. As a matter of fact, I can just send a message to Village Show 30 at gmail.com. So Village Show 30 at gmail.com, and we'll make sure that they get that information. So that's Saturday, May 6th. Also, next week, Saturday, May 13th, is the Haitian Day Parade, starting from Church Avenue, going down to Farragut Road. You can join in the parade from 11 to 2. Come out and enjoy the start of the Caribbean summer. So that's going to be very, very exciting. Right at 1330 Utica Avenue on Saturday, starting at 11 o'clock, 11 to 6. There's going to be an open house for the adult social daycare. You hear a little bit more about that, so come out and join them on Saturday, the adult social daycare. On Saturday, May 6th, right here at 1330 Utica Avenue. Bring the senior with you, get some information, find out what's going on. We ensure a healthy and happy life for all elders, right? So that is their motto, and that's what they're working on. So the website is still being built, but it's Grace Family. So I know it says Grace Family Care. We're going to throw in the word Grace Family ASD, Adult Social Daycare, so ASDcare.com. Call 347-770-8446, 347-770-8447, or 646-504-5778. So come out and enjoy your day. And see what is happening. All right. And then we're also watching by the Single Parent University. Do join them. It's call 646-779-6767 or text SBU to 71441. Anything you need as a single parent. So you go from the forum to the social daycare to the single parent, right? So help on all spectrum as a person. So you need food too, right? So you're listening, you need food too. So come out and get some needed help. So call the Single Parent University for assistance, 646-779-6767. So Andre,
Yeah.
What do we have in the news, man? We have so many things going on, right? The first thing I see, my prompt here is telling me that I should talk about certain things first, but there's so many things going on. And, I'm going to start off with the crime, right? I'm going to start off with the crime. It's now the in thing for the media to publicize the crimes that are happening in our community. I'm glad for it.
Wait, you say it's an in thing?
It's an in thing.
I mean, I feel like it's always been the in thing with the media.
No, I think it's more of an in thing. And I'm telling you why I'm saying that. Like nowadays, right? Nowadays, I can see whenever something happens,
Mhm.
right? Because of what's happening and the light on gun
Mhm.
laws and the changing gun laws, right? And the changing gun laws that people are every time there's a shooting of multiple people, it hits the media, right? It hits the media and it hits the media big time. You get what I'm saying? So it's not like before where when something had happened, they would leave it. It's not in the media so much as before. But now a 7-year-old got killed in New Jersey. It hit the media right away, right?
Shock value, but I mean, well,
Right.
interest.
The shooting in uh, Atlanta, right? The shooting in Atlanta, it hit the media right away, right? Hold on a second, Andre, in the back of my book bag, right? Just hold it up in the small pocket. You see something in there. Yeah. So right, so at the end of the day, right, at the end of the day, they have now. I'm hoping that 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 they can put to light and continue to put to light the heinousness of violence. But the reason why they're doing it, right? The reason why they're doing it isn't for the reason why they should be doing it.
Reason doing what? For
The reason why they are bringing to light what is happening with the gun violence.
I mean,
The reason why they're doing it, it isn't because they want to bring to light that we need to stop the violence amongst each other.
shock value.
They're bringing to light the fact that they need to have gun reforms. But is gun reform really going to change my mentality, my violent mentality, my need to not care about life? If I don't care about life, right? I don't care how I kill you. I don't care how I harm you, right? I'm gonna harm you because to me, right? To me, that's what's important. So, are we going to get a byproduct? Are people really going to care about violence? They're talking about, in one breath, you talk about negative policing. Now we need more policing. Pick a choice. Do you want anarchy or law?
I mean, you what do you call it? You constrict or you make it hard for people to get the weapon of choice. They're probably just gonna choose a different weapon.
Exactly.
But maybe does something still, right? Because if you have, but I don't know. Perhaps if you have the stricter gun laws, maybe people might ease up on killing or trying to find, but it's like it might drop and then increase again.
So one of the things I was thinking,
Mm.
you need to have greater penalties. They need to really, if you're charged with first-degree murder, you need to have the death penalty.
Or wait, so
First-degree death penalty, or if not the death penalty, you cannot make jail comfortable, right? You cannot make jail. You want when you go visit somebody in jail, right? When you go visit, they're gonna tell you the real impact. There's no reason why somebody should be out of jail 26 times.
I would also say too, in terms of stricter penalties, perhaps better criteria. Because what about a person who's accused, but then now they didn't commit a
Well,
crime?
that's what I'm saying. So if you're not looking at a death penalty, then you want to say life imprisonment, right? Without parole. Like you're not going to see the light of day. Because if that's the case, right? If that's the case, you can get a trade, go to school, get a law degree in court, in jail, something that can help you to fight your case. Get a lawyer to help you fight your case. There are things that it's not so easy. I'm not making it sound so easy. It's not so easy. But what the point is, even if let's say the innocent man, right? Because that unfortunately that happens. That's why when I argue these things, I don't argue for the death penalty. Although I would like to see the death penalty.
I'm against it, man.
Right? Because when you think of the Central Park Five, right? If they could have gotten their life back, right? And that woman, I don't know if she ever went to jail, but she, Emmett Till lost his life. That woman died last week. We didn't bring it up. I don't know if we brought it up, but she was able to live for 88 years. Emmett Till was born, he was 14 years old, born in 1941, right? So he would have been 82 this year had he had his life not taken away from him. And she lived for 1955. What's that? What am I missing? 58 years later. Is that are my numbers right or 68? 68 years later, she was able to live from something. And so she might not have expected for them to kill the kid, but who killed the kid. And for 68 years, you never came and said, hey, these are the people who did it. I don't care how much threat they did in your life. You could, maybe when you were young at 21, no. Right? But at 40, at 35, you could have come forward. But anyway, so going back to what I'm saying is like, because of so many, and the majority of people, unfortunately, also, there are two kind of people that get killed when you do capital punishment, right? One, an overwhelming number of blacks. Two, the lower class. Is that the right term? Lower economic class, lower class, right? So the people on the lower socioeconomic stratosphere, they happen because they can't afford the better defense at that age. They can't afford to have people go out and research and find the technicalities in the law that would save your life. They don't have those capabilities. So it would be important, right? It would be important for you to work on the law to do that, as opposed to just blankly say, hey, death penalty, and I give up, right? And then also, unfortunately, what you find, and I learned this also with I'm not a lawyer, so I don't want nobody to think I'm a lawyer, but in my experience is that people with low economic and low IQ take plea deals and plead guilty to things because they don't understand it. And so, not only do they not understand it, they do not understand the ramifications of it. So, for example, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to be clear. I want to tell you this right now. A good lawyer for a murder case runs $25,000 to $50,000 just to retain them. And then you have to pay money for court documents. You have to retain money for other things that they have to do. When you call them up, you have to pay, and they charge $250, $300, $400, $500, depending on the lawyer, an hour. So I want you to think twice, right? That's one of the reasons why you see when you go to jail, especially in New York, you see a lot more blacks than you see white, percentage per population. Numerically, I think there are more whites in jail than black.
What do you mean?
Huh?
What do you mean?
So blacks make up, 14% of the American population?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
But of the jail system is like, I think, close to 40%.
In terms of the numbers, yeah.
So, blacks make up, I don't know, you can look it up. What's the total population of black? I think whites make up 61% of the United States. So I think Latinos coming close to becoming the second race in second largest race in America. But anyways, so the point there is that they make up a large amount of the largest amount, and then Latino, and then blacks, and then you have Asian. The number for Asian is really, really low. Really, really low. So it's just a thought, right? So join in on the conversation. You call me at 718-841-9980. Share your thoughts. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where you feel like I need to rethink my opinion based upon on other things, right? So there are, right, there's so many things that is happening that affect that. So the murder in America needs to stop. The killings need to stop. Look at it. Oh, every time something comes, because sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, I like to say I have chemo brains, right? The Republicans and some real jackass Americans.
I don't have anything to bleep that out, so.
Right? I'm not using bad words. Ass is in the Bible. Want to pinpoint the mass murder, mass shooting in Texas on the undocumented. He is undocumented. That's what he is.
Or the guy who got deported 4 times?
Yes. Right? He got deported, some say it's 5 times, some say it's 4. Regardless of how many times he got deported, he committed a heinous crime. The shooting in Atlanta was an American. As a matter of fact, it was a military vet. He wasn't undocumented. The 7-year-old who got killed in New Jersey last night, I think his mom? He and his mom got killed in Jersey last night. The killer wasn't undocumented. The few people got killed in the Bronx, that person wasn't undocumented. So yes, the person in Texas was undocumented. But let's not fool ourselves and change the conversation. Right? Let's not change the conversation and make it about undocumented. That's not right. The fact is Murder is murder. The dead man doesn't care. The family of the dead man doesn't care. The friends of the dead man doesn't care. The place where the dead man was gainfully employed, making a difference, the community where he or she was making a difference, don't care whether or not the murderer was undocumented. They care about the loved one. Don't make it a political statement and say, oh, he was undocumented. Yeah, of course we don't want to do. Dr. Sampson and Dr. Bryant and I talk about it all the time. A pathway to citizenship for people in America who are doing the right thing, and deportation for the people who are not. But don't make people believe that it's America. It's people who are undocumented that committed crimes in America. It's everybody. And we need to stop that conversation to sensationalize the news, the media, to let people believe that crimes are only committed and are highly committed by undocumented. And that's not true. That's absolutely not true. Francisco Oropeza, the man accused of gunning down the 5 people in an execution-style mass shooting in Cleveland, Texas. I didn't know there was a Cleveland, Texas. I just thought Cleveland, Ohio. So this first time hearing it. Was taken into custody Tuesday evening after a multi-day manhunt. The massacre unfolded Friday night after neighbors asked Oropeza to stop shooting his gun. Oropeza then allegedly stormed the neighbor's house, killing 5 of the 10 people inside, including a young boy. 2 of the women killed were found in their bedroom, lying on top of 2 survivor children. Oropeza is a Mexican national who was previously deported 4 times. Oropeza, 38, faced 5 counts of first-degree murder, and his bond was set at $7.5 million, 1.5 for each count. Oropeza was apprehended at a relative's house in Montgomery County, about 20 miles from Cleveland, uninjured without incident. He was caught hiding in a closet underneath some laundry. Oropeza's partner, Divimara Nava, right? Divimara, that's a very interesting name. I can't even pronounce it. It's very difficult. Hopefully I didn't chop up the name. So his partner was also detained at the scene where the suspect was found. Nava allegedly provided him with, apparently Divinara was too hard to pronounce either for the writer, right? Was allegedly provided him with material aid and encouragement, food, clothes, and had arranged transportation to this house. She has been charged with hindering apprehension of a fugitive. Prosecutors allege she physically delivered a message to Oropeza's cousin, asking them to help him flee to Mexico, which they refuse. Good job for them. She's been held on $250,000 bail and is on immigration hold as a Mexican citizen. Good for her. Good for her. You need to not. The man killed 5 people and you find pity for him because it's your family. Speaking of which, Andre, this is another reason why crime cannot stop in America. Right? And because people look at family members or close friends and don't look at the crime that they have committed.
I mean, that's normal.
And I'm saying that's another reason why for me, I'm like, turn yourself in, let's work it out. Right? Turn yourself in, let's work. I'm not gonna harbor any one of my relatives who killed 5 people, don't come to me. Come like scene day. Don't come. No, I'm not gonna. I mean, if you're caught
in the code of the hood.
No, if you're caught juggling a little weed, I could understand that.
It's
right?
definitely a cause.
Right. By the way, speaking of my weed, Juggling
Oh
of the week.
yeah, he should have been passing by.
I got to text him. Yeah, you need to ask me. We're in the studio. Where you at? You supposed to be here today. Um, Not weed, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Cannabis, yes, sir.
Medical.
The medical stuff for me. Actually, I need that. But you commit rape, murder. I'm not housing you. You thief a look at $20, $50, $20,000. That's different. I can understand that. You rob a bank, hurt somebody. I'm not harboring you. You know, so I said, right? Rob a bank, hurt somebody. If you rob a bank, you know, me never see you. You hurt somebody, I did see you, right? Um, you embezzle money, you're insider trading. I don't care about no damn insider trading. Give me some of that information, right? You know, certain crimes I'll turn my head to, others I won't, right?
And
But killing five people, I'm not turning my head. I'm not turning my head.
because at the end of the day, too, really, it's like something might flip and they come to your firm too, you know.
You know what I tell people?
But it's just wrong. So
You know what I tell people all the time, Andre? And I've proven it over and over again. If a person lies, the person will lie on you too. You just don't know when they're lying. Because unless you understand lie and how lie works, right? They will lie on you as well. If a person steals, they will steal from you. So if you know somebody who's a thief, guaranteed they have stolen something from you.
you can't really say that.
What is the expression? There's no honor among thieves,
There's none.
right? And a person lied, they were thief. Trust me. So a violent person will eventually be violent with you too. They can't control themselves. All right. So you know, so I didn't want to forget that on my diatribe. Don't just connect to the undocumented and make it about the undocumented, right? I want you to make it about the crime that is happening, right?
So would there be
Use the mic.
would there be a difference if they had recognized the amount of deportation that he had? 'Cause-
Why?
No, I'm saying like if there would be a difference. I'm asking, would there be a difference?
I mean, difference of what?
Him, because he 4 times, and then I guess this time around, that's when this killing happened. I
Well,
didn't
we don't know why he was deported.
Yeah.
If you're deported, that means you committed a crime,
So
right? He was committed a crime. So if he had committed a crime before, what happened with the Mexican government,
so-
right? What? Mexico is one of America's fiercest allies, right? So if Mexico is one of our fiercest allies, how did he get back into this country? Right? What's going on? Right?
What's going on at the border? Is that a question?
Huh?
What's going on at the border?
Yeah, not even just what's going on at the border, what's going on in the national government. Because if I deport somebody into your country, how did they leave your country again? What happened to your immigration piece?
I'm also thinking about the reasons why.
I can't hear you properly, so I don't know if it's the mic or
Testing. You hear me now?
go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but I don't know if I'm hearing you in the studio or just on the mic.
No, I was just saying, I'm thinking about even the reasons as to why many people from developing countries or just different countries come to America. What's the reasoning, right? For some people, it's like better opportunities or just fleeing, like crimes or difficulties in their countries, and America is touted as land of opportunity. So in that sense, really, people might come over because of those things. So there's that itself, right? Something's happening back home, can't really deal back home because it's not working out for me. That's just among the reasons why I'm thinking people come. I'm not sure if it's the same for him or could be, but then no, him. It could be right. It could be why he came over, but then again, like as you said, you're deported because you committed a crime. So is it like the crime is happening back home, come over, but then now you end up in a position where you end up doing that? Because I'm also looking at how where crime happens even here in our own country, where crime happens and why crime happens in particular areas, high poverty, high crime rate. So I don't know, it's maybe nuanced reasoning as to what was going on with the Mexican government versus what possibly might be happening on the border. So
I think the Mexican government is really slack.
possible.
Well, it's not just the Mexican government, by the way, right? It's the border. It's greed, because the one thing I believe, right? And it's funny because I was having this conversation to believe and know, and people always get upset with me, right? But I'm going to tell you my thought process. I don't know this factually because I don't know who the players are in coming to America, getting across the border, from any country. You get what I'm saying? And different ways to use the system. One of the reasons why scamming in Jamaica is so effective and people robbing people from their remittance, because one, you have to have a moral compass. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
If I'm making $100,000 a day, Jamaican dollars, which is 700 and change, a little bit over $700, to scam you, and I don't have to do nothing but stay on the phone for 4 hours and scam you, and I make that much money per day. That means I'm making over $300,000. Let me say $100,000 a year. So I'm making over $3 million a month. Scamming you.
Just by being on the phone.
Just by being on the phone. Why do I need to go to school?
No, that is definitely the case. And then now you have people who go to school, but then now they come out and it's like struggle to find work.
But here's the deal.
Mm.
You work at the bank, right? I make $3 million a month. I say, yo, my you, I give you $500,000 to make sure this account goes through and the money clean. At the bank, you might be making $500,000 a month, but this give you another $500,000. What can you afford with this? So you take the chance. Same thing at the border, right? So let's go to the border.
The short term fill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you're blindsided, right?
Yeah.
You think you're not going to get caught, Right.
Everybody always
right?
thinks
Almost every criminal believes
that
that they're not going to get caught. Or if they get caught, 3 things will happen. 1, I could pass it on to my family and make sure that they're okay. I'm willing to make that sacrifice for my family. 2, I can get out of it. 3, if I don't get out of it, I'm not going to spend life in prison. I'm going to hide my money and be able to use it later on. So those 3 things are happening. Those dynamics are there. 1, I'm not going to get caught. 2, I can pass it on to my family. 3, if I do get caught, I have enough money to pay a lawyer to be free. I buy out the system, right? Because I'm already buying out the system. I can't continue that. Or 4, if I serve time, like a Dudus, like a Bojo, right?
Mhm.
Bojo cannot come back to the United States, but Bojo has money.
Yeah.
And I'm going nowhere.
Yeah.
He served 70 years in prison, come out, and he's probably making more money now than when he was in prison.
Yeah.
And his music is still sold in the United States.
It's true. People still play.
And people flew to Jamaica on his first concert,
Yeah.
right? So I could buy the time, right? So the negative thought, so you don't pay police officer enough.
Mhm.
So the police goes right or left. Write your ticket or left me a ticket, right? It's either write me a ticket, left me a ticket. So you want right or left. If a police officer put over 15 people for the deal and him get a $5,000, a $10,000 Jamaican money for the day from each one,
You leave me alone.
right? If you pull out 10 people and get $5,000 enough, a $50,000 that he make for the deal.
So there you go now. Like you might
It's corruption.
and you might be letting go a criminal right?
There you go.
So
That's like what happened in Iowa
integrity.
when they pull over it wasn't corruption in Iowa, but he pulled over the guy who had murdered somebody at the school, at the Michigan school, pulled him over and let him go under the ticket. I'm not saying it's. I'm definitely not charging that police with corruption. I'm just simply saying like what you're saying.
You got some.
You let go of the criminal,
Yeah,
right? But it's the same thing at the border. There are people getting paid,
that is true. That is true. Yep.
right? You can't tell me, say, there's no way that you can tell me, Andre, that the people at the border who was coming across the United States, all of them
Always a
are find a way of chewing gate,
yeah. Money runs the road, right?
right?
So,
Do you believe that?
definitely some people getting paid, man. Some be getting paid. I mean, this also make me think about even like politicians, like or the one that we always talk about on here, Mr. Trump. All right, man got his lawyers and all them people realize it's become futile to worry about his situation in a sense because if you look slowly but surely, he's not talked about as much in a sense on the media as when he was, in office or a little bit out of office. Like, yeah, that they talk about things here and there, but the man has like lawyers and people helping out and all those things. So to the point of being paid, right? It's definitely happening. It's definitely happening. And so, I mean, I don't know what can be done there. We can try and ensure people have integrity, but how do you do that? It's like trusted. You just gotta trust that someone is doing their job right.
But it's but unfortunately, they have to have stiffer penalties for those border control people.
Scare tactics.
And now I'm not even talking about scare tactics. I'm talking about stiffer penalties.
Yeah, no. If there's stiffer penalty, chances may be high that you're gonna be more concerned about. Like you want a penalty to be so strict that you'll think twice about taking any sort of bribe or think twice about the possibilities of being caught. Like if it's stricter, right, wherein you can say, you know what, I'm gonna escape or I'm not gonna get catch. Then the penalty being stricter may work. So
Yeah. I hear just like I was saying earlier that if you add life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, right? If you add life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, then people might think about adding using murder, right? So if you put that up there, that might I see what you're saying by scare tactics. Look back on the sheet. Yeah, look back on the sheet, our old sheet in the Google Doc on the financial report that we were doing, that sheet that we haven't done. So look back on that, and we're going to try to fill it out while we're on the air sometime.
sometimes.
Right, now I was thinking about that because I want to talk about a couple things.
Speaking of that, I guess highlight the stuff regarding Biden's home.
Yeah, we're going to do that in a minute. Right, because we were looking at some stuff last year, and I didn't. We haven't done. I was looking at the thing, Andre. We hadn't done this since March. So, but anyway, it's we need to do a better job of understanding our responsibility, right? Our responsibility in society for what is happening and take on shared responsibility for people who are coming to the United States illegally, who are not doing what they're supposed to do, or people who just people want to come here to. The average person comes to the United States, right? The average person who wants to come to the United States, they don't want to come to the United States to commit no crime. They don't. They're not interested in the crime. They are interested in um, creating a better life for themselves, right? So, what's MRK, Andre?
Market probably.
No, MRK. Just look up MRK. 1351. Right. Right. So, taking a look at that, we need to be able to say, hey, let's address some of the issues that are happening in the United States, right? In the United States with with crimes, right? With crimes, with people coming here to create create a good life, create a positive life for themselves, right? So I was just thinking that, Andre. The other thing that is happening, there was in Ukraine. In Ukraine, there was a bombing. Not in Ukraine. In in Russia, right? In Russia, they bombed they bombed the Kremlin, and they think it was an insider job, right? They think it was an insider job to bomb the Kremlin, but it did. They felt like one group that is anti Putin is the one that bombed the Kremlin, and so the Kremlin is trying to blame Ukraine for what is happening when they're the ones responsible for this, Andre. Uh, I think that
Saw
it's
the headline. I didn't get to read into it.
right. So it's very, very interesting to me to find out why they are doing that, right? It's very interesting because at the end of the day, if the internal party is saying that we don't want this war, and you're fighting against your country to stop the war, I'm wondering, Andre, what kind of message or what kind of propaganda are they using, right? What kind of propaganda are they using to convince, right, to convince people to um, to stop creating a war or to build unity in Russia to continue the war in Russia? Thoughts?
Why they would do that?
Not why they would do it. We know why they would do it. But if they have to resort to that level, I think that's where my questions come from. If they have to resort to a level that says, hey, let me tell a lie, right? Because it's a serious thing, right? You're telling a lie to make your war worthwhile.
It's propaganda. I want the people in my country to help defend the country, right? Even if it's a lie. If you look at excuse me, if you look at Germany with Nazism, and then when US was talking about how Nazism is such a big issue and all, we're having our own racial issues in here at the same time. We had Jim Crow, we had um, so many problems at the same time that were an issue here, but we're trying to direct people's focus on different countries. You look at even Muhammad Ali. It's like, no, I'm not going to no other country to fight no war. My freedom is here. So it's like you're trying to put your country in a light and telling the people that this is the right thing because whatever is happening in another country over there is infringing on our freedoms here. Um, so like trying to make your country seem like the more powerful, seem like the one that's more beneficial needs to be on top. So I think that's among the reasons, right? Patriotism, right? Support your country, and your country will support you, right? Support Uncle Sam, and Uncle Sam will support you.
Right. Um, that's interesting, right? Because propaganda goes very far. I mean, look at the level of propaganda that um, do me a favor, can you look at Netflix did a split and when they did the split? Um, look at Donald Trump, the amount of propaganda that he did um, to fool people, right? To fool people, and uh,
Wait, how long was this when Netflix did split? I didn't.
I'm asking if they did. I don't know.
No, I didn't see a split. I know Google and
I know Google and
Amazon
things.
and Tesla did their splits.
Right. I just see dramatic change in the stocks. I wanted to see if it was
Yeah.
on a split.
Yeah, no, I think even with Netflix, with their since last year when their subscriptions subscribers went down, that's because they were increasing the prices, all right? And among the reason was that competition got got intense. Disney came onto the scene and said, "Hey, yo, we ready for y'all, man." You got HBO jump in and all those other streaming services jump in. It's like, nah, son, we're about to war. But surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, Netflix is showing progressive growth back to where they were. Of course, with all these different streamings coming out, it's definitely a challenge. All right. Um, Netflix right now is, let's see.
That's it. I got it. That's not. I was just wondering if it is because there's a significant change in the stock. But I see it.
So
And because Tesla did a forward split
forward split when?
again.
Like when though? Like was
They
it
were
earlier in the year?
in September, October. they did
Oh.
a split.
Yeah.
Good evening.
And we don't want to talk to you. You disband us today.
Hi.
What's good, Joanne?
You and John. Hey, Dr. Byrne, welcome. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
We were just talking about what's happening in Russia, and that the bombing is the Kremlin.
Stating that they tried to kill him, take him out.
Yeah,
He's
and
in the United
they,
States.
they were very unsuccessful with that. But they're trying to say that it was Ukraine, right?
No, they
And
blamed it on the United States. They said the US had to do was part of it. So somehow they're trying to drag us into their craziness.
yeah, it's just absolutely
Ludicrous.
yes, it is. That they want to hold us responsible for what's happening in the war that they started for themselves. Because I honestly, when it comes to the war in Ukraine,
Mhm.
the reality situation is that they had no idea that the war
It's gonna last this long.
was going to last this long. They thought they were going to walk in
Mm-hmm.
and the war was going to be over, and they are going to walk out and you know
See, you never underestimate the little people. There you go.
That's true, and that's where it is,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Never underestimate, because guess what? People might think you're small, but God always have a way of making you bigger than what people expect.
David versus Goliath.
Mhm.
What's Jamaica's motto? Me look about me talawa. Right? That's Jamaica's motto. So it's very very distracting. This disheartening to see what is happening.
Oh, you feel not, right? I could feel it out.
Right? What's happening in the world today. So are you excited about this weekend?
I am. I am. I'm excited to see some parents in person. Um, some folks, some folks who will be joining us from out of state will be joining us via virtual. But more than anything, for parents to be together with their children, our goal is bring your child with you. Many times they say leave your child at home. No, bring your child with you so we can work this out and do the work with you and have fun in the game of learning. So let's master that together. So I am excited about that. Each one teach one. We get further that way.
And so what are some things that the parents are supposed to expect when they get there?
Expect to get your hands involved. We're going to show you, similar to we're going to show you what to do. Indicate what are some things that's working, what are some things that's not working. We're going to sit down with you. We're going to do it along with you. You're
Mhm.
going to do it with your child. We're going to hold your hand throughout the whole process, and then it's going to be reversed. Your child's going to be able to teach you certain things and
Oh,
go.
so it's I teach, you teach, we teach.
Absolutely.
I do, you do, we do.
Yes, that's our slogan.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we're going to have fun with it. We're going to play some games. We're going to have some book giveaways. We're going to speak to some authors. We're going to learn some strategies and just enjoy each other's company as a community. So that's
Uh,
important.
yeah, that's kind of cool. I think like I'm excited. I, hold on a second. Just text her and see if she wants to do a stream or if she wants to do that. Do a call. So the idea is to get parents involved, right? Get
Yes.
parents involved with what's happening. We talk all. I was having this conversation with Auntie Bev, right?
Hmm.
So big up to my big Auntie Bev. Thank you for following me to chemo today. That was very exciting of her. I appreciate that. She called me last night. I'm like, hey, you want to go to chemo Thursday? She's like, yeah, sure, I'll come. I'll just change my plans around just for you, because met a big nephew, so she just look out
She
for her
went
big
to
nephew.
chemo with you?
Yeah, she went to chemo with me,
Oh, that's cool.
right? Yeah. But anyway, so we were having this conversation last night. We were having an in-depth conversation last night, right?
Hmm.
And the conversation was about in Jamaica, right? Bless you.
That's you.
In Jamaica,
Hmm.
right? There is bless you.
That's
There's a Jamaicans are the largest, the Caribbean country
hmm
per capita, the most churches, and the state
Mo-
that the
You
most
said the
churches,
most churches?
yes, per capita.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not asking them. It's not a debate. It's not a debate. It's not a
Oh
debate.
Lord, I'm gonna have to look this up.
You don't need to look it up. All
Lord.
right. Jamaica is number one for the most churches per capita. That doesn't mean that they have the most churches in the world. It means that as per the population, it is the largest. It is the most densely populated area of churches. So like you could literally go to a church within less than a mile of each other.
Oh,
That's
like
it.
New York City. Exactly like New York.
No, it's
City.
worse than New York City.
Whoa.
1,600 churches, has the most per square mile of any country, according to the Guinness Book of World Records.
You heard that? What Andre just said.
No, repeat.
It has the most churches per square mile in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Mm.
So we were talking about that, right? And
That's crazy.
and look up the crime rate per capita, right? The murder per capita, not crime rate, but murder per capita. And so Andre and I was talking to Auntie Beth, and we were in a conversation. I was telling people that, and Christians get offended when I make this statement,
What's
but
that?
but you have to listen to the statement that I'm making, and I'm not making a comparison. Oh, you can't. Why is it that Jamaica, because of religion, right? Why is it Jamaica, because of religion, has the most churches, but it has one of the highest murder rate in all of the Caribbean, if not the highest? I think it only compares to Haiti, right? And one of the things that I tell people is that Monday through Saturday, parents don't, and adults, they do everything negative, and on Sundays they're Christian.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Right? And if you're a Saturday worshiper, Saturday you go to church. We have to place a tremendous amount of focus equally on living good, going to school, getting an education, and going to church. If you force your child to pray, you must force your child to read.
I would say also too that
yes, Carl, I'm coming to you in a minute.
I would say also too that when you are told or taught that you can be forgiven for your sins, pray and those things, it kind of builds up in the mind.
You can do something and get away with it.
Monday to Saturday, I'm a party, I'm gonna do whatever it is and all that, and then Sunday,
I'm gonna ask for repentance.
And the week start again.
Yeah, call it your life. Good evening. This voice sounds very familiar. I wonder who it is.
I don't hear anybody.
You don't hear anybody?
No.
I can hear you.
We can't hear on this side of town.
You can't hear on that side? I'm
No.
wondering why. I can hear her loud and clear in the studio.
Joanne, yeah, we hearing you. Joanne, maybe if you wanna check your audio. I'm gonna check online.
All right, so while I just give you a minute to hold, and then we'll check to make sure if anybody else out there, let me know whether or not you can hear. Just let us know whether or not you can hear, because Dr. Bryan says she cannot hear her, so we don't know if it's the audio or something else, right? Because I'm actually hearing, so I'm not sure. Yeah, can you hear? Say something else, Minister Harden. Andre can hear her.
She's low.
She's low?
Yeah.
There's no sound coming at all.
Andre said she's very low. But I hear her so loud in the studio, I'm not sure why.
It's not transmitting over here on this side.
Yeah, hold on one second. So, while we're trying to fix the audio, while we're trying to,
I want to add to what you said.
Right.
You
hold on one second. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Talk again, Mr. Hardy. No, Dr. Bryan. No, there's no volume coming through. I don't know what's
It's coming out of your headphone, maybe, but not.
Yeah, I can hear it, so we can hear it.
Maybe out of your headphone, but nothing on.
No, she's on the other end. Are you able? How do you know they can? No, I didn't get any comments from the listeners who said they are hearing you.
Who's hearing you? I don't see anything.
Because I'm looking for the comments online. I don't see anybody say they can hear you.
Can you do a video instead, Mr. Harden.
I right. Just
Mr. Harden.
give 5 minutes and call back. All right. Let's see if it will work by then. Because I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe something on our end, not your end. The Wi-Fi is working very well today. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's-
It's
But
lit.
yeah, as I heard you bring up several different topics earlier. You spoke about the train, you spoke about Haiti Flag Day coming up, and there's a lot going on with Haiti right now that people are revolting against the gang that took over. They're sick and tired of it, and they're taking matters into their own hands. So that's I don't know if it's because it's getting closer to enough is enough, and that's what's happening now.
You
So
know,
yeah,
yeah,
retaliation, the gun issues, the amount of guns. That's the gun issue is not only in the United States, but where? Who is sending all these weapons as though people are at war down there? That is unbelievable. So it's we as a country have to do something, but not only the United States, but all over. This gun situation is tragic. I was reading today about a young man who got murdered yesterday, either yesterday or today, in Fort Lauderdale. He was there with his wife at Walmart, and how him and his wife and the baby went to Walmart. Someone was getting beat up. A young lady was getting beat up by one of the employees of Walmart, and he jumped in. Once he started seeing her getting attacked by this man, he stepped in to try to block it and say, hey, my friend, slow down. The guy turned around, baby's in the lady's hand, watching her. She had told him, don't go, don't go. He was like, no, he's, beating her up. And he turned around and shot the man several times, murdered him in front of his baby mama. The baby, she said, please, please don't do this. My child is right here. He just continued. 10 bullets. So people, I don't know what it is, but there is no remorse. There's no it everyone heart has become hardened. Like even the gentleman who the chokehold, that's one thing. But how long are you going to continue to squeeze somebody's neck? You have 3, 4 people. It's not that bad. Let him go. So you're going to take all the air out of the man, especially, you're trained. You're a trained killer. So now you're going to go against somebody who's not, who's not a trained person. So come on, that's overkill. So in everything, but I wish people were at the same outrage that is going on right now in the train would be the same outrage when a child gets shot out. I don't want it to be a black and white thing. When a black child is walking or a young boy get murdered or somebody is getting murdered, we need that same outrage throughout. Not just because, oh, it was a white man, I kill a black. Everything is white and black. But no, what about black against black? We need that same outrage throughout. So that's my 2 cents.
yeah. I think it's just not enough. I'm just wondering. And the young man, the 30-year old Jordan Neely, had some mental health issues,
Mhm, mhm.
right? And you know,
And that's the thing. What are we doing about mental health? It is, it has taken over not only guns, but mental health. The gun issue is a big
I,
issue.
I'm
Mental
trying
health.
to figure out who killed him. That's what I'm trying to do.
Well,
Who
he was
choked him to death?
choked to death.
Yeah, no, I know he was choked to death.
So it would
So,
be the Marine.
huh?
It would be the Marine who
No, 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 no. So
who would be charged. Is that it?
yeah, so the both people were suffer from mental health, right? So the 24-year-old person, the Marine guy,
Marine guy was suffering from mental health.
I
yeah,
know.
What?
Was he?
Really?
I didn't hear that. Wait
Listen
a
to
minute.
this. Listen to this very carefully. You ready?
Uh-huh.
The man was taken into custody
And
for
release.
questioning
Mm-hmm.
and release.
Mm-hmm.
And I voted for Kathy Hochul.
Who
I
is
voted for Kathy Hochul.
Hmm.
I voted for Kathy Hochul.
Hey man, they're gonna switch up it if they have to switch up, you know.
I voted for Kathy Hochul.
They've been doing this for
You
years.
publicly killed somebody. Where's the protest about the jail reform? I didn't see any. Did you? Did you see any, Dr. Ryan? Because I didn't. I surely didn't.
Mm-mm.
You don't protest that the man killed the man on Monday, brought in for questioning and was released?
Hmm.
Because the man that it was homicide. It wasn't even. It shouldn't be. It's second degree murder. I don't care if you're gonna take away, right? I don't care if you want to try him for not guilty for reasonable insanity,
Mm-hmm.
because he's still gonna spend time. He has to go to the mental institution to be released. But at least he will not be a nuisance to society for a number of years. He
Hmm.
was put back on the street after committing murder on the train.
Because they didn't think it was murder. They thought, see, the thing is, the way that they describe it prior to the video coming out was not the way. The first thing they said is, oh, this man had several, he was arrested several times. They didn't even think about the gentleman dying. Oh, he committed several crimes. That was the message that was out there. Oh, this criminal got murdered because he was messing with people, or he was stirring up trouble or whatever. But two different accounts. Some people said, hey, he was a little outraged, but he was just talking or whatever. And some people say he didn't do anything. He was yelling or whatever. You let people yell, whatever. But here it is. If there was no video, the outrage wouldn't be the same, because they already criminalized the man who died without even taking humanity as a human being. He's dead. But no, the criminal, he has several records. He has 33 arrests. He has blah, blah, blah. That's the first thing. In between that, he could have been a former military person. He could, any of that. And I think that's what they have mentioned too. He was a former veteran. We have a lot of veterans who actually are in the streets. We have a lot of homeless veterans. We have some of them who actually are dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. And those are some of the side effects. Hey, if you're going to give your life for this country, they need to do a better job in taking care of you after you leave the military.
Now,
Not just the phone.
let me see if this works now. Let me know if you can hear. Good afternoon. Welcome. Can you hear Dr. Ryan?
No, I heard the
No.
phone ring.
You heard the phone ring?
Yeah, but can you put the mic maybe to?
Yeah, but it's going to be very dismal. Hold on, let me try it.
Because we don't hear nothing.
Where's this? Move that mic. Okay, try again. No, it's not. It's not working. You didn't hear Dr. Ryan.
Mm-mm.
So we have on the phone. You're not going to be able to hear her, but it's Minister Harden. Can you just bring up the?
Hi, Minister Harden.
Good evening, good evening.
All right. Bring up the flyer from. So she's on the phone, just reminding us to come out on Saturday. Right here at right at 1330. Not right here. Right at 1330, Utica Avenue, to come out and enjoy the Grace Family Adult Social Daycare registration marathon.
What
So
time?
I'm gonna tell relax. I'm gonna say everything. So Minister Hardin, who's also uh, her husband is the pastor at Grace Deliverance Tabernacle right there at Remsen Avenue A. Is looking to do something for seniors,
Okay.
and so the seniors need an opportunity. Um, have good sound Christian values, good sound enjoyment values. They're home. They're not doing anything. All they need is like Medicaid and opportunity to come out and meet new friends. You know, you know, they come out and they meet other people, men, women, uh, who are willing to enjoy themselves, right? So you're able to come out, Minister Hardin, so they can't hear you, so I have to translate for you. So they can get some food, right? What kind of food they're going to get, Minister Hardin? Rice and peas, baked chicken. Wait. Did you just say that? Okay, so she said, let me tell you. So people have to translate, right? Because since you can't hear, baked chicken, rice and peas, fish. Any kind of soup? Come, you love soup. You have chicken soup coming out too? Okay. All right. So what time should they be coming out on Saturday? All right. So come out at 11. Come out at 11. Gonna end around 4 o'clock, 4:30. You know, obviously you want to come early so you can participate with some activities. So we're gonna be having some dominoes. They're gonna have some. Hopefully we can set up the table tennis. We have a DJ, DJ Barry G. He'll be coming out to DJ on Saturday. They're gonna have cards. So you're gonna have the cards set up. They're gonna be able to play some cards. Okay. Dominoes cards. Okay. What else? Any other? Oh, I know that we perform. That you know, Grace Family Service can provide salon services, but I know it's too short of a notice. I don't know whether or not that's going to be set up, but you could probably have the area where they're going to do it up so they can see it, right? No, I know, because you're not going to have a beautician in there, but the area might be, you know, it's a good idea to label the area that this is where they're going to go. Will there be transportation available on Saturday? Yes, if you want to get transportation, you need to call, all right? Call 347, well, call 646 504 5778, 646 504 5778. Send an email to gracefamilyadult@gmail.com. What's the other number they can call besides 646 504? 347-962-7168. So 347-962-7168. Right. You can send an email to gracefamilyadult@gmail.com. I'm not sure if the website will be available for you to register on the website. Right. Let me call.
No, I have the audio that you sent me.
Oh, yes. Right. You can put it up. All right. So the website is going to be up. Just a misprint on the website. It's Grace Family ASD Care. So the flyer says Family Care is ASD Care. For those of you who are listening, just add ASD between family and care. So go ahead.
1330 Utica Avenue is now Grace Family Adult Social Daycare. We ensure a healthy and happy life for elders. Free transportation. Medicare is accepted. Call for an appointment today. Call 347-770-8446, 347-770-8447, and 646-504-57.
Yeah, seemed like it didn't connect well.
I can hear. Go ahead.
You were hearing it, Tom?
Yeah.
78. Send your emails to gracefamilyadult@gmail.com or check us out on the web at www.gracefamilycare.com. If you have an elderly at home, they can now feel like themselves again by making new friends and participating in all our activities such as arts and craft, board games, cards, bingo, domino, table tennis, and more. And lots of events like barbecue, field trip, dancing, birthday and anniversary celebration. Okay, the list is too long. Let me just tell you. It's now time to enroll your family member. It's not over. You might be down and out, but now you have a chance to regain your life again.
You know, so that's very exciting. So do come out and support that. Yeah. Since I have to be the translator, Minister Hardin, what else would you like me to tell them before I forget? Yes. So, so basically, she's just saying again. I'm a translator. It's like I'm doing Spanish. I'm doing the Spanish to English. Everybody, when Bishop Hardin goes to Haiti and he goes to preach, and he has a Creole person right next to him, or he goes to Spain. So I'm the one from the Spanish-speaking country that had to translate from English to Spanish, right? Right. So basically, coming out, enjoying yourself. Bring the adult out. If you don't have Medicaid, you want to know if you're qualified. If you don't know if you're qualified or not, or if you don't qualify, there are things that can happen. So come out, 1330 Utica Avenue, right at the corner of Foster and Utica. So you to come out, enjoy. Don't be bored at home. It's a Saturday. You get some free food. That's what I'm hearing. Minister Hardin, make sure I'm coming for my plate. I come from a plate.
That's all you care about. Your plate, your plate, your plate.
Right. I'm coming for my plate. No on two
Dominoes, right? They're gonna have dominoes?
Yeah, they're gonna have dominoes, but unfortunately I can't stay for the dominoes.
Oh yeah.
I have to go to Jersey for my son's baseball game. But just make sure my plate of food for me and my pitney ready. You hear? From a tree pitney them. Right? All right. So it's very exciting. So if you have a senior who wants to come out, enjoy, find out what the program is about. Some of you out there who are seniors never really thought about going to an adult social daycare.
I had a friend waiting.
Yes. Friend, oh yeah. I forgot. The friend is invited to come out, so hopefully they can make it out on
this Saturday. Yeah.
Come out and come and enjoy the day. Come and enjoy the activities out there on 1330 Utica Avenue between the hours of 11 and it basically is 11 and 5, but I'm telling people to come out by 3 o'clock. So the lady, obviously, if you come out between 4 and 5, you're not really going to enjoy yourself as much. And not to mention, you don't get out of the house long enough. So come out, 11 o'clock is expected start time, so 11:30 would be a good opportunity for you to come, enjoy, get some food, sit down, relax, play some games.
It's Saturday. Come on out.
Yeah, right at the corner of Utica Avenue. So if you want to drive, it's right there. So you come down Utica. Utica's the main street. You want to take a bus? It's the B46. It's the B8. I think the B7 is down the street, a couple blocks down. So those 3 buses are right there. B7, B8, B46. B46 drop you local, not the select. Drop you right in front of the building. You need transportation, free transportation. Just give a call, 646 504 5778 or 347 962. What's the last 4 digits? 7168. And get a ride over. We're looking forward to hearing from you. We're going to be doing like a couple of shows special for those people who want to call in and register. Also, coming up in the next couple of weeks.
See
I
it.
just want to skip to the time.
Take
What
some
happened?
snippet. We want to see it.
So,
We want to see the
so
action.
Dr. Brian says she wants to see it. So we're going to take some pictures and videos of things happening up. The website should be up and ready. I hope by the end of next week, everything should be done little by little. Grace Family ASDcare.com. Send an email to gracefamilyadult at gmail.com and someone will get back to you. Again, Grace Family Adult, this is short for Adult Social Daycare, Grace Family Adult at gmail.com, and somebody will get back to you. 646-504-5778, 347-962-7168. Again, 347-962-7168, 646-504-5778, Grace Family Adult at gmail.com. All right, looking forward to hearing from each and every one of you. All right. Thank you. All right, so I'll see you on Saturday. Music performed by DJ Barry G, and he's also available for your usage as well. So make sure that you come out and support him. All right. Those are the numbers on the screen. Grace Family Adult at gmail.com, 347-962-7168, and 646-504-5778. So looking forward to seeing you at 1330 Utica Avenue, corner Foster and Utica. God bless you, minister. All right. Have a good evening. Yeah. So what we're talking about, it doesn't say that Jordan Neely was in the military, but the person who choked him was in the military. So he was a Marine. So he was 24 and he was 30. Dr. Bryant, not to belabor the point, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there are things that people say that makes me say, you know what you're doing. Well, I didn't take my medication today. So if you can tell me that, then you knew that you were supposed to take your medication so you could think logically. But today you didn't want to think logically. So should I penalize you for that? And the answer to me is yes, you should. Because if you knowingly did not take your medication and you know that you have been told and explained what kind of damage you can do by not taking your medication, I think you should be penalized.
So here's the thing. Some people with mental illness have no control.
That's a different comment. I'm
Yes.
not talking about those people. I'm not talking about those people who you are responsible to give them their medication. Now, I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about those people who are knowledgeable enough to take their medication and don't take it because they don't want to. Oh, I don't want to take my medication. Or the other comment that I hear people say, hi, Auntie Maureen, happy Mother's Day to you as well. Right? The other thing, oh, you know I have a temper problem. And get help. The hell are you going to tell me you know you have a temper problem for? That means you're fine with your temper problem. I was in a meeting, I was talking to somebody one day and they go, I told you how the student told her mother, you know how I get.
Mm.
What do you mean by you know how I get? Then get help.
Right.
Because see what happens is people believe that behavior is acceptable. Right? I should be able to speak, act, and behave however I want. And then when the bail reform says, yeah, you go ahead because I'm going to let you out of jail. What's the point? But if I tell you that you knowingly committed a crime and you're going to jail minimum 25 to life, that means if you're in your 20s, you'll never have kids. You never have a family. Because if you're 24, 25, and you're going to jail 25 to life, you will not have children. You will not have a family. And if you have children, you'll not see them grow up.
Mm.
That resonates with people. You know how many people, how sad they were that their parents died and they were in jail and they couldn't even go to the funeral?
Yeah.
When you start telling people those things, they will start begin to understand.
Mm.
25 minimum to life for first, second degree murder.
You know,
Manslaughter, 15 to life. They get it.
I don't know.
First
Sometimes,
degree murder, 30 to life without parole. 30 to life without parole. People will begin to start understanding that you can't tell me some dumb baloney, you know how I get. That's all I'm not, listen, I'm not saying that there's not people with mental health. That's not the point that I'm addressing. I'm addressing the fact that you need to get help. If you know you have a problem, get help.
okay.
When I got sick, I knew that I was not a drunk, but I drank, right? When I drank, not as time went by, I actually, in essence, stopped drinking because it was not acceptable, right? But I stopped drinking immediately. Why? Because I knew that it wasn't good for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew I had a problem, right? I knew I had a problem. So I addressed the problem. Why? Because I knew that if I continued down that path, I wouldn't be here today.
Mm.
So if I know that I'm going to spend 30 years in prison because of my anger problem, I'm going to stop. Or, hey, catch myself.
Mm.
When I was younger, I used to be very violent. Very. I turned to sports, right? I played football. I wrestled. I played basketball. You formed a sport, I was involved in it. Right?
Wait, you used to wrestle?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I thought you knew that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I wrestled all the way through college.
Okay. So did you compete against William and Mary?
No. I was Division 3, but then I wrestled for the Empire State Game. I actually wrestled against Kurt Angle.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. He threw me around like a sack of potato.
Was it on TV or anything like that?
Huh?
Was it on TV or
No,
live?
no.
Just
Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle is a real wrestler.
No, I know. I'm saying
So he wrestled. He competed in college,
Yeah,
and he
see.
competed in competitive.
Yeah, WWE and everything. I used to watch wrestling.
No, not that.
Oh.
Not that. So he competed in like Empire State Games. So he would like trying out for the Olympics and those things, kind of whatever national component wrestling like that.
Mm-hmm.
He would do that after college before he went to the WWF and then eventually WWE.
I'm trying to find.
Right?
I'm trying to find like stats of Kurt Angle versus Roderick Daly.
No, they wouldn't find it. I'm a nobody. I actually I was ranked number 4 in the MAC conference, and then is it called the MAC?
Was
The
that
Mid-Atlantic Conference.
Rank number 4? Is that good? Is that like
Well,
okay? Or?
Okay, so there's number 1, there's number 2, there's number 3.
Oh, it's just regular rank.
I was ranked number 4
Oh.
in my conference. You tell me how good that is.
No. Because I'm saying like depends on where
Well, I was
so.
not. We were not competitive enough for me to do that.
Oh, okay.
Number 1 was a corn husker. I like to call them corn huskers. When they walk, they like to shake in the ground.
So like the conference that you were in, was that like a low tier conference or like?
It's a different. It's where my region. I was on the Atlantic coast.
Gotcha.
So like I had Swarthmore, Muhlenberg, Haverford, Rowan College. Actually, I don't remember all of them. Ursinus.
Okay.
So Division 3 schools that were on the Eastern Atlantic component.
All right. Well, let's get to the pros and cons regarding Biden's thing, man. Like,
Which one?
The one with the housing thing, man. Like,
so
I have a couple of beef with
And why do it around this time? What happened to student loans and stuff?
Student loans got forgiven. They won their case. Now, the student loan situation, okay, you all are you won the lawsuit, but now you're penalizing people who actually work hard to get their credit right. To say, hey, if you decide you're going to purchase a house and your credit is better than that person down the street, you're going to pay more than the person down the street, which is not fair. Absolutely not fair. Because what are they saying? Oh, they actually make less? No, they don't have a fair. They consider it equal opportunity. That's not equal. That's not. So I should be penalized because I take care of my credit and I pay my bills on time.
I mean, you aren't you able to afford that extra $10? Aren't you able to
No.
afford that extra $10 a month?
No, I can't.
You know,
Okay, Kareem.
all right.
I can't.
You know what part of the problem is?
I feel like I'm being discriminated against because I work hard.
Well, I like to leave the word discrimination to race. And
To race.
Why?
I'm not looking at race.
I know
I
what I like to use the word penalize more than discriminate.
All right. Okay. Penalized. I'm being penalized because I'm doing the right thing and paying my bills on time, and I'm actually taking care of my credit. I'm being penalized. Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
And now what I should do is not pay my bills, bring my credit down so I can purchase a house. That makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah. So
That's foolish.
the difference is a couple $100, right? So
It makes a difference.
It's $600 more,
Mm-hmm.
right?
I don't want to pay it.
You know, so $600 more is a lot of damn money.
It is. But my question is to like, why is he doing it around this time? Like, what's coming up, right? And then to top it off, to
You think it's a factor of election?
Of course. My man trying to like look fire and everything. Like, yo, I did this for y'all, man. I know
For whom did he do this?
his constituents, those who we want to try and get.
So
to
you
vote.
think wait.
Politicians do this.
Wait,
I gotta do something.
Wait, let me tell you something,
What are
Andre.
you talking about?
Let me tell you something.
Let me hear.
And I wish
You
John
go
was
against.
here.
You go against this. I'm.
No, listen to me
Let me
carefully.
hear.
Lower socioeconomic people do not donate to campaign.
Okay.
So therefore, the person.
I don't know about that.
I'm not asking you.
Well, that was generalization, probably, but maybe you mean
nothing's 100%. If that's
Right,
what you're gonna attack,
Yeah.
right?
that's what you get attacked though.
Right? Don't attack that. It's like saying all rich people give a lot of money. That's
Yeah.
not true.
Okay.
The fact of the matter is,
Mhm.
you have large donors.
Mhm.
You basically donate by your income.
Mhm.
Think about that for a second. The correspondence dinner,
Mhm.
there were no poor people there,
Okay.
right? Because they can't afford to go.
Okay.
So the people who are going to go, I was invited to a fundraiser. Unfortunately, we can't go to fundraisers for the electives because they had them on Thursdays, and we had a show on Thursdays, right?
Mhm.
So it's very hard. They started at $1,250.
Mhm.
Somebody who has poor credit can't afford $1,250.
Okay.
I don't care how much money you make.
I was talking about the voting aspect, I think.
The voting component.
Yeah.
What do you need to run a campaign?
Money.
What's the number one thing you need to run a campaign?
That was John said.
Yeah, there you go. So if I am taking money, I am a middle class person.
Mhm.
I have donated thousands of dollars to campaign.
Mhm.
I can tell you that. Piss my wife off. Over the last 15 years, I'm 100% certain I've donated more than $10,000 to campaign.
Okay.
Without even going back and say, let me find a check. I've written $300 checks, $200 checks, and they add up.
Mhm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
A person who has poor credit is thinking about how am I going to pay my credit card bill?
Yes, that is true.
How am I going to pay my rent? They're not thinking about, remember, when you donate, right, to political campaigns and colleges and Like I donate to my college, I donate to my high school, I donate. So all of these things are people have an organization, they have a fundraiser, they ask me $150, 175, 250, whatever the number is that I wherever my ceiling get to, right? Because you have a ceiling, right? The fact is, he is taking money from his donors. The donors are not going to give the money because you campaign towards the people who are not donors. So are you saying that he's taking money from the donors to pay to campaign for the people who don't put money in campaign? And that's what he's going to lose. He's going to lose money.
What I was trying to say is that if you're campaigning, like you're gonna want the votes, right? So you're like you said, campaign to the people who like who's not donating, but also you want to campaign to the people in such a way where you say, hey, I did this. Like look at when he was doing the debate, right, and talk about student loans, Biden, for instance, and he mentioned so much about student loans. Everybody was on that. Yo, he's gonna forgive student loans. So even in our conversation over the last months, student loan was one of the things that we talked about.
Hot
So much
topic.
because he made it as a promise. So in a sense, really, it's just like I'm thinking even like a lot of college kids who came out, they were told vote for the better of the two evil, or Biden says he's gonna do X, Y, and Z, and that's what many of them had needed to. They wanted that, so they was like, "Yo, he's gonna forgive our student loans. We gotta make sure that we vote for him, try to get him in office." I'm just saying
That's a valid point,
Yeah.
right? But the comparison is not necessarily the same, right? When you forgive student loans,
Mm-hmm.
you are forgiving student loans across the board to a number, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not you. Dr. Roderick Daley, right? Roderick Daley worked very hard
Mhm.
from where he's coming from to bring his credit score to over 700.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I had to make a lot of sacrifices to get to that point.
Right.
For you now to turn around and tell me
You
that
gonna
I
be
need to regress
right.
to bad credit
Yeah.
in order to save $600, I'm going to regress. Not only am I not going to regress, but that means that I'm going to overspend.
Oh my
I'm
god.
not going to pay bills,
Oh my
right?
god.
Because when you think about it,
Mhm.
no one. Do you know anybody who got a $600 raise in a month and it's not changing job or getting a promotion?
No.
Like you're a teacher.
Mhm.
When was the last time that the contract came out that said that you're making $600 more a month, $7,200 more a year in 1 year? Think about that. So if I'm not gonna make that, I'm not gonna pay my bills.
You're funny. You are funny.
When you really think about the logics of what he's saying,
Mhm.
You know what? It's ridiculous. I don't know who decide they're gonna increase the interest rate every month. Oh, we increased it again yesterday. We're gonna
you know,
increase.
it's funny. I was looking at something. I was looking at a payment. Get this, right?
Mhm.
A mortgage, a 30-year mortgage, and a 3.75% interest rate. A 30-year mortgage, right? So if you take out $400,000,
Right.
Dr. Brian,
Mm-hmm.
I almost peed my pants when I saw these numbers. If you take out a 400,000, ladies and gentlemen, this is why I always tell people get a 15-year mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
I owe them a whole lot.
If you take out a 30-year mortgage, and I actually saw this number in writing,
Yeah.
$400,000 on a 30-year mortgage, you're paying $600,000.
And they just try to talk about
Right.
a 40-year mortgage.
Right?
the other day.
So listen
Like,
again. So if I
ridiculous.
take out 400,000, I'm paying $200,000 back in interest rate over 30 years. So I'm paying 50% of my money back. Ladies
Yep.
and gentlemen, get a 15-year mark. I want to talk about, we're running out of time, so there's one thing I want to talk about, which is disturbing, right?
Make it short.
The thing in Texas with the students. I tell people Again, ladies and gentlemen, if we don't hold people responsible for their behavior, young kids or not, they will continue doing the same behavior. A Texas high school student, in Texas, high school students pummeled an assistant principal as she tried to break up a fight.
Yeah. A couple
That
of
is,
things are happening in Texas.
but I'm not even talking about Texas. I'm talking about because there are no the children
Like
have to let go.
respect.
They don't know what they're doing. It's bad upbringing. No. They knew exactly what they were doing because every children didn't join in.
Mhm.
It's a specific group of children who felt like it was okay because there are no consequences. Just same thing with a gun.
And
Same
that's
thing with
why it's
murder.
important for us to get involved and interrupt some of those behaviors. Get involved, parents, get involved, grandparents, get involved, community leaders, get involved, nosy neighbors. We need you.
Yeah, and you need to come out to your forum this weekend on Saturday as well. I thought you were going to say that. So come out on Saturday to Parent Guardian Forum, right? Come out, learn some things, identify those issues before the time comes so that they don't do these things. Don't say that your child is going to be okay. It's, what is it? They're just kids. They're not just kids. They're learning bad habits that you cannot control. Remember, I like to keep it simple. If they leave the clothes on the floor today, they leave the dishes in the sink tomorrow, they will leave the garbage the next day, they'll leave the driveway the next day, they'll do this the next day. I'm just using some simple things that are non-threatening in life. But take the major threatening. They hit you today because some of these kids are doing this. They're telling you the curses today. They hit you today. Those things are acceptable. Let's learn what to do at the Parent Guardian Forum on Saturday at in Brooklyn. I'm no sorry, it's in Queens. Right. If you have any questions, send an email to the Village Show 30. We'll get back to you at gmail.com, Village Show 30 at Gmail. It's at 113-44 Merrick Boulevard at Morningside Church. Come out and learn what to do. We don't want our kids to get to the point where they're beating up assistant principal and they could have done some serious damage and gone to jail because now it's like a rage. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining us right here on the Village Radio Talk Show, where you can share, join, listen, subscribe. But most of all, stay tuned with us each and every Thursday. God bless each and every one of you. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
And thank you, Danielle, for joining me. And thank you, everyone all the villages out there participated with us today.
Thank you.
And looking forward to seeing you guys on Saturday as well at the Grace Adult Social Daycare at 1330 Utica Avenue.
Come on out.
Come on out. God bless. Enjoy your weekend.